Okay, everybody, welcome to The Stretch. This is usually our Friday episode, but if you listen to the episode we did on Monday, we talked about how we are doing an office-wide mock draft. It started on Monday with Stephen Che making the Titans pick. He took Cam Ward, of course, because that is what's heavily presumed at this point, if it's not official already. So that's already off the board, and then we're going to start with Tate. He's going to be picking for the Browns, Clem for the Giants, Dana for the Patriots, and so on and so on. You guys get the drill. So without further ado, Cam Ward's gone. Let's kick it over to Ohio State, where he will draft for the Cleveland Browns on the clock at number 2.
All right, but before we get into the draft, I want to talk about our number one pick, always the beer sponsor of this show, the great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Hey, cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the greatest tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975, 50 years, Dave.
50 years. That is a long time. They have been a staple of Chicago for, what would that be, 6 decades? Does that make that?
No, 50 years would be 5 decades.
It wouldn't, because you got 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. That's 6. Did I do that right?
I don't think you did.
Nevertheless,
I think it's 50 years.
Confusing.
It's
I don't know.
10 years or in a decade. So 5 decades.
But there's no 0 decade. Nevertheless, Miller Lite's been around for a long time, and it's the best light beer there is. Only 96 calories and only 3.2 carbs
per 12 ounces.
Grams of carbs per 12 ounces.
Yeah. So we'll have Miller Lites. You know, this is draft day. Big moment for Chicago as we continue to build. So we'll cheers to whoever the Bears take at number 10. And we'll get into that. That's what this whole episode is about, the NFL draft. And Dave, where can you find Miller Lite?
You can find it just about anywhere they sell beer, but if you're in a pinch, you can go to MillerLite.com/stretch, and you can just pop in your zip code and find delivery options nearest you. But it's easy peasy. Just go to around the corner, you'll find your Miller Lite.
You could probably go as the Saints bank their pick and be back in time no matter where you live in this city with a case of Miller Lite before the Bears pick. So check them out. MillerLite.com/stretch for those delivery options. As always, celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And now let's get into the show.
All right, so now we are joined by the number 2 overall pick, the Cleveland Browns. We're joined by Tate, coming at you from California. Tate, you are on the clock. Who are the Cleveland Browns taking at number 2?
Well, the Cleveland Browns, do you just want me to straight up pick them right now?
Pick them. Tell us. You're at the podium.
Because our GM's all over the place with different hints right now. But the Cleveland Browns with the number 2 selection, Travis Hunter, wide receiver / cornerback, defensive back out of Colorado.
And is that what you want, or is that who you think they're going to take?
So I'm pretty certain they're going to take him, but there's been some rumors in the past couple days. Our GM was like, well, we can either pick someone, we can trade back for picks, and then he dropped in, or we can trade back for a veteran. I don't even know, like, if we're trading for a player, I don't know who that would even be. It would have to be some sort of quarterback, but I don't think, like, Kirk Cousins isn't worth the number 2 pick in the whole draft. If it was up to me, I think I would want Abdul Carter from Penn State and just pair him with Myles Garrett and have fucking bookend edge rushers.
So you don't even really want Hunter, is what you're saying?
No, listen, here's what's going to happen. Travis Hunter, he's 6 foot, 188 pounds. They say he's the best receiver in the draft and he's the best defensive back. I would be a whole lot more inclined if we were like, hey, we want him to be like a full-time defensive player and then find ways to get him the ball on offense. Our GM is saying that we want him to be a full-time receiver and then play him in high-leverage situations on defense. And am I wrong? Like, do 6 foot receivers go number 2 in the draft?
Not typically, no.
Like, I want like a Calvin Johnson, a Julio Jones. I want my dude to be tall and fucking a machine if he's going number 2. So I do like that we're not stretching for a quarterback. That's my favorite part of the draft, is that we're picking who we feel is the best player available. I'm fine with the Travis Hunter trade. Or the pick. What I'm nervous about is we're now damn near the odds-on favorite to also move up and get Shadur later in the first round.
That would be a hell of a move. The Colorado Browns would be wild.
Eddie, is that not going to be...
That's got disaster written all over it.
Is there a worse place in the National Football League for the Colorado fucking Browns than Cleveland? It's going to be a media dumpster fire every day.
Yeah, the only worst place is Jacksonville, but I obviously that's not going to happen because Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, that's tough, Tate. That'll be tough.
We're now 2-1. We're like 3-1 on a parlay of taking them both, which it was 12-1 a week ago. So someone knows something.
In the water, yeah.
Well, so we got Mintzy coming on at 9. He's going to trade the pick to you guys, and you could take Shadur there. We'll call you back. All right then, Tate. Thank you, Travis Hunter, to the Cleveland Browns at number 2.
All right, thanks, boys.
Okay, we are now joined by the New York Football Giants representative. We are joined by Clem. Clem, you're on the clock. Who are we taking at number 3?
Well, I know Dana Beers is behind me, so I would be making one quick phone call and being like, boys, we wanted the 3 pick last year. You guys want it this year? Just give us last year's 3 pick. Drake May, you guys can take whoever you want at 3. Whoever you want. Now, I know they'd be hanging up and probably would burn the phone if I even asked that. But with the number 3 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select, we're going back to the trenches, boys, on the defensive side of the ball. We're going Abdul Carter because, honestly, there's only 3 guys in this draft I want, and the biggest thing is the Giants just cannot fuck up this pick. There's 3 guys. If one of the other guys 4 through 10 hits, they hit, but I was looking for a glass this morning, 2012 Super Bowl champions, and right there on the back, you guys probably can't see this, has the whole roster. Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, back-to-back on the list. That's how you win Super Bowls in New York. You have a fucking killer defense. And Abdul Carter, we get that with Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and we have the makings of a good defensive line. We could shit the bed like we do every year, basically, since that Super Bowl was won. But you got to kind of just go with the talent here. So we're going with Abdul Carter. He put up a kind of a deep-cut Star Wars meme when he was hurt, so I already love him because of that, with the Darth Vader in the back to tank getting healthy. He's an absolute freak show, and as a Giants fan, we're so set on the quarterbacks. When I was watching Abdul Carter just wreck shit in the college football season, I never for a minute, it didn't hit my head that he could be a Giant because I thought he would be too far above us. But here we are, Abdul Carter. Welcome to East Rutherford.
He was injured or dealing with something for that Notre Dame game, and he was still terrifying.
Yeah, he's the best player in this draft, and he passes the eyeball test.
So are you happy that Tate took Hunter number 2? In a perfect world, is Abdul Carter your pick?
I had talked. It's funny. So I thought they were taking Carter for a while. When Garrett requested the trade, Myles Garrett, I was like, oh, and then they're definitely taking him. And then there was rumors they were going to pair them up together. And I was like, all right, Hunter's our guy. And I was 100% sold on that too. So it's it really doesn't make a difference. The Carter stuff, he has the foot injury, which as a Giants fan at this point, I'm like, whatever is the worst case scenario for his foot is going to happen with us. Whereas if we were a good franchise, I wouldn't be thinking like that. Hunter did have some stuff you don't know if they're going to put him in the right spot. The stuff what happened with his girlfriend? The girlfriend stuff was kind of weird, but I'm on the outskirts of college football stuff. I feel like his girlfriend was trending for wacky reasons, and it's probably just fine stuff. I don't even know, but I remember there was some weird shit going down, and that's obviously nothing to do with Hunter. But this is truly you guys know, when you're a poverty franchise, just take the talent. Either of those guys or Cam Ward, who I think was the clear number 1 quarterback. I'll take any of those 3, and I was going to be happy. So
gotcha. Because that was my next question. Who was the third? It was Cam Ward, but obviously extremely, extremely unlikely that he falls at all after 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel like this has gone exactly how we thought it would go. The top 3. Thank you, Clem. Appreciate it, unless if anyone has anything else for him. And now I think it kind of gets interesting.
I think this is where the draft kind of starts.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Clem. We appreciate it. And now on the clock, representing the New England Patriots, we have Dana Beers. Dana, you were listening on the other end. So far, it's gone Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Number 4 pick, who you taking?
Boys, it's not sexy. It's not pretty, but we haven't had a fucking offensive lineman in God knows how long in the first round. I think it was Cole Strange was the last one, and he's off the team, I believe. It's Will Campbell, 6'6", 320 pounds out of LSU. Give me a left tackle. If you go back to the Brady days, a consistent position we had was left tackle. Matt Light, Nate Solder, and when those two were gone, it kind of fell apart. Obviously, Brady leaving had a big part to do with that, but it's gone from Isaiah Wynn to Trent Brown, and Trent Brown has been decent, but just give me a nice big Southern gentleman at left tackle that can fucking pass block and mow people down with some pancakes, and I'm the happiest guy in the world. There's a lot of things we need, but the glaring issue for the last 5 years has been the offensive line. So if I can get Will Campbell, I've seen some of his interviews. He makes me laugh. He has a cool accent, and he's kind of just a beast. So give me the 6'6" guy out of LSU.
Does his arm length worry you? Was
No.
it Nate Solder like 6'9"
Fuck that.
or something?
He was a big guy.
I agree. Fuck that. I don't care about 33 versus 34. Fuck it.
Question, Dana, do you think they will take him, or is this who you want?
I can see them trading, but in all likelihood, if they're to take someone, I would guess it would be Campbell. I mean, I don't really. There's a lineman that they could be looking at, but I don't think Travis Hunter falls here. If Hunter falls for whatever reason, maybe they take him. But if I were to guess, it'd probably be a trade or Campbell here at 4.
Okay, and that's the most smoke you've seen in like mocks and stuff, like Campbell's?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Vrabel being a little aggressive, like saying that they'd be willing to trade, and they would be, but they're also looking for a lineman. So I don't know. I'm not the biggest mock draft guy. I'm like an eyeballs guy, and what I see on the tape from this guy is what I like.
I love it.
But you kind of had a reaction, Eddie, like surprise. What did that? You didn't expect this?
It wasn't that I didn't expect it. It's just like we said, this is kind of where the draft starts, and this is my guy who I want the Bears to take. So now I'm running in my war room and like shuffling my papers, kind of trying to see who we should take. So that's kind of why I had that look. So it kind of makes me have to pivot because we're going to make the Bears pick at 10. I like Will Campbell a lot. I think he's a leader, obviously, as well. That's what everything that's come out of LSU. So I think this would be a good pick for you guys. The only thing that did worry me is we did have Gruden on ESPN a couple weeks ago, and he said like arm length's a problem. Like not for him specifically, but he buys into arm length being an issue. But here's the thing, like, if you get a fucking all-pro guard, that's great too. Yeah, you know.
Right,
so,
right.
But maybe you don't want that in the top 5, but still, it's still like not. It's not the end of the world.
Well, and I saw someone else saying that it's like there are not a lot of stars, but there's a lot of starters in this draft. So it's like outside of like the top guys, you just got to get someone who can play.
Exactly.
And Campbell can play.
Mm-hmm. Dana, thank you.
I'm envisioning Matt Light and Tom Brady 2.0 here. That's all I can't get that out of my head. It's going to happen, and we have to start somewhere. We have to have a building block on the line, and this is it.
Beautiful. Dana, thank you for joining us. Nice pick. I think you did a good job.
Thank you, boys.
All right. Before we make the next pick, we're going to talk about who's in the hot seat in a second, and there's no hotter seat right now than X Chair. Let's talk about comfort, because if you're sitting all day, doesn't matter if you're at the office, at home, sitting here making a podcast, you need a chair that's actually built for your body with extensive adjustability across the headrest, armrest, and seat depth. The X Chair adapts to you. Crafted with premium materials and solid engineering, the X Chair is designed for the long haul. Dave, you're a gamer guy. You need a good chair for the gaming.
I had... Disclaimer, I bought a gaming chair back when I was broke, I don't know, 7-8 years ago or whatever, and it really messed up my back.
You should have had an X chair from the
I've had
get-go.
an X chair for, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 months.
Elite.
It's elite.
And it has a 15-year warranty, so you can sit easy knowing it's built to support you day in and day out. So whether you're a remote worker, a gamer, podcaster, entrepreneurs, if you're putting in the hours, this chair works as hard as you. Use code STRETCH10 for 10% off your purchase of an X Chair. That's STRETCH10 right now at xchair.com, not to be combined with any other promotions. So again, that's STRETCH10. Dave's got it. We're getting one in here for Lance. Lance logs the long hours with all the editing. You got to have one of these chairs if you're working from home or just at your office. X Chair is the place to get it. And now back to the next pick of the draft.
Okay, now with the number 5 pick representing the Jacksonville Jaguars, we are joined by Uncle Chaps. Uncle Chaps, welcome to the show. You're on the clock. Who are you taking at 5?
Well, as you guys have known, we've known each other for a while in this room, right?
Good bit of time.
And I've always said when it comes to the NFL draft, anytime you have the opportunity to draft your 3rd running back in the top 10 in a decade, you got to do it.
Don't you do it.
You got to
Don't you do it. Don't you do it, Chad.
We're going with Genty from Boise. I personally hate the pick. I hate my own pick because I don't feel like a running back ever has that value. Even Saquon, like, yes, he was great, but he wasn't great for the Giants. Leonard Fournette went on to win a Super Bowl with the Bucks, but that wasn't with the Jags. Like, there's been big, like Travis Etienne, fine, good.
Bijan really hasn't had like the spark that I think everyone thought he would have.
Yeah, a lot of those first. I feel like it's cliche, but you can get a running back basically anywhere. Genty might be different. He might be built different, but I don't see like the crazy breakaway speed like a Barkley does. He almost gets pulled down, and that's in a shittier conference. He's not playing against SEC guys, the fastest guys. I don't super love the pick, but from everything that I've read from the Jags people that are locked in with the organization, they think that that's the guy.
Really? So you're seeing this mocked a lot, the Jags?
Oh, yeah. Like the dudes that I trust, like Dilla, shout out Dilla. Like the dudes that I trust the most in Jaguars, like John Shipley, like another dude that works for Sports Illustrated, they keep leaning that way. So, I mean, it is what it is. I hate 3 running backs in 10.
Yeah, because like Tank had a solid year. Etienne kind of took a step back last year.
Yeah, Etienne's had some injury issues. Who would have thought a smaller, 6'1", skinnier running back would have issues in the NFL with being durable? Who would have ever thought that? The standing straight up thing, I don't know if I could do that in the top 10. I might take a flyer on you in the 5th round, but standing straight up makes me nervous.
Uh-oh.
I hate the pick, but I think it's what the Jags are.
You don't have to do it. You can leave him there.
Well, to be fair, that's really the only player I know.
And you had to ask his name before you sat down.
I just want to make sure I was.
Yeah.
Well, I have this thing that I don't. If I never, because I didn't watch him play. Like, I'm not watching Boise, and I'm not like Liam. I'm not like a ball watcher all the time. But if I read your name a certain way the first time, I don't care how many times it's said, I will never think of it that way.
Okay.
Like Kamala Harris put me in an absolute blender.
Kamala.
Like that put me in a blender for a long time. General Milley, the old chiefs of staff. I still don't know if it's Miley or Milley, and I hosted a military podcast for 8 years.
They give me shit about this. I say Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
That's just how I said it the first time, so I'll always say it that way.
Yeah, and then I get 2 in my head, like, was the way that I want to say it right, or is the way that I did say it right? Anyway, Ashton Genty.
That's easy. Yeah. Have you guys seen that much places? Because I know Raiders had like the heavy smoke, which is
that's why there's a lot of like trade rumors involving the Jags at this spot for people
who want Genty.
Yeah.
The Raiders would make sense because of Pete Carroll. Like he's a big running back guy.
Yeah.
I would loathe if the Bears traded up for him, and I haven't not seen that either. That has been said.
Floated.
It's been floated.
We'll see, man. Honestly, this is the thing I'm most excited for tonight is because like the ascension of Ashton Genty has been crazy. Like if he goes top 5, that's nuts.
It's not great.
No,
like
where did Saquon go? Was he 5th?
Saquon was 2.
He was 2.
Yeah, and then Bijan was 7, I believe.
something like that.
Yeah,
And Leonard Fournette was top 5.
he was. Yeah,
He was. I think he was number 4 or 5 overall. But he was different. Like, and Saquon was different. Like, because they had coming into college, they were both like elite 5-star players. Right. Like, fucking Leonard Fournette was like a 2,000-yard guy his freshman year.
Yeah, McCaffrey was top 10. He's been worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted a couple of years ago. He's been really good. So
Gibbs is awesome.
Yeah. All right, Uncle Chaps going Ashton Genty at 5. Thank you, Uncle Chaps.
Give me a Duval, Eddie.
Duval. How did I do that? Like it's like your head coach.
I know.
And that's Uncle Chaps with the Jaguars.
It's Uncle Chaps. All right, bring him on in.
Jaguars because that's the way I say it, or is that how you say it?
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Nothing wrong with Wires.
All right, love you guys.
I love you. All right, coming to the podium, we have Liam Blutman. He will be representing the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think you're a Raiders fan, Liam.
The Raiders. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
But you're from Las Vegas, so you are the best person, and you know ball, so you're the best person to make this pick.
He does know ball.
This is the order so far, Liam, so you have a basis. Cam Ward went 1, obviously. Then it was Travis Hunter to the Browns from Tate. Clem took Abdul Carter with the Giants at 3. Dana took Will Campbell at 4 for the Patriots. And then obviously you heard Chaps take Ashton Genty at 5. So, Liam, you're on the clock. Who are the Las Vegas Raiders taking at 6?
I would like to preface my pick and build it up. 1, the least buzzworthy draft of our lifetimes.
Fair.
I have never felt less excited for an NFL draft. I was more excited in 2013. 2013 is the worst draft. 2025, there's no buzz. Nobody's talking about if the draft's going to hit you in the face tomorrow. You can't even believe it's there because ain't nobody really talking about it aside from you guys today.
Yeah.
There's zero buzz. There's not a lot of intel being shared around. There's no there's really a very few amount of trade rumors and sparks. It's very quiet. We know the top 3. That's cool. Yeah, I'm up at 6. Fun. Who am I gonna take? That's
I don't know. Because you could go like, I think this guy's the pick, or you could go based on like what you've seen.
So I'm going based off Liam Brain. If I was the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, this is who I'm picking. Because they're plus 1,800 to take the position of the guy that I'm taking.
Ooh.
So this is a bit. But I do think that they're I'll explain everything. Yeah, in a really bad draft, I want to take a guy who has the potential to be special. I want to swing for a grand slam. I don't want to try and play it safe and get a solid player. I'm going for it all. I'm going for a guy that we could develop into a Pro Bowl-esque talent. So I'm taking the 6'4" freak wide receiver out of Arizona, Tate McMillan. Okay. I want to go for it all here. There's varying ideologies about where this guy goes. There's people that think he could go as high as 5 with Jacksonville or 6 with Vegas. Some people say he's got connections to the coaches in Vegas. Some of his Arizona guys went over to Vegas. But then there's people that think he's a fringe first-round guy. So there's so much different stuff going on here. I think McMillan, also, fun fact, this is gonna be his rookie year is the first time that Noah Fifita isn't his starting quarterback since the freshman year of high school. That's pretty wild. I like Tate McMillan a lot. I think he's a freak. What I have on my notes.
Well, did you anticipate Chaps to take Genty? Do you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think Genty's going to the Jags?
No,
but you anticipate.
I think there's a decent possibility that he could, but I think the Jaguars will add offense. Whether it's him, maybe McMillan shocking people, or they zag in a different direction or trade down or something.
Tate McMillan, have you seen that much or no? That's
not to the Raiders. Not that much.
I have not seen that at all.
I've seen him top 10 often.
As someone who knows arguably more ball than anybody, what number did you plus 1,800 to draft a receiver?
Yeah.
Let alone that. Well, it would be that receiver.
He's minus 290 to be the first receiver taken.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Hunter, what would
Hunter doesn't count.
He doesn't count.
Yeah. Which I guess that's actually I love this thought from Dave actually. I want to look at this if Hunter's even listed because that could come down to what the team drafting him announces him as.
That's true.
That is true.
I mean, I like.
He's not listed. Dang. I love that thought.
There's a need. I like Jacoby Myers, but they could use a wide receiver.
They need a wide receiver so badly, and what better way to you're probably not going to be a good team next year anyway. So why not swing for the fences? Take a 6'4" guy that runs like a gazelle. I've gone with filthy movement, insane change of direction. He's so fluid. Moving like he does at that size is just an absolute cheat code. He's uber athletic, has the monster catch radius. And then there's people that want to say, does he love football? He's a bit of a, maybe he's a diva. When Jed Fish left and who's like kind of a control freak head coach and he went to Washington, Tate McMillan was kind of coasting and not all the way locked in his new regime. And, to this I say, why are any of us going to be afraid of a wide receiver of all positions being a bit of a diva? Why are
Yeah.
we going to shy away from
Good
a wide
point.
receiver
Good
because
point.
he's a little outspoken, a little
Was Randy Moss a diva? Was Terrell Owens a diva?
all the best wide receivers are a little crazy in their
Right.
brain is all I'm saying. So going and getting a guy that's a bit cuckoo, why am I going to shy away from that? I want that. I want him to talk trash on the field. I want him to just be himself and be weird. So, yeah, I'm taking Ted McMillan at 6.
I like it. Liam, thank you for joining
Thank
the
you,
program.
Liam. I love that number 2.
Yeah,
And
maybe the first
very
big swerve in a sense.
It does make sense.
yeah.
It makes more
He
sense.
talked me.
Yeah.
He did.
Because they only have Jacoby
Like-
Myers and Brock Bowers in the past, and they just paid Geno Smith.
Imagine if you
100
get
million.
Brock and Tet together, too. Like, that's another just
That's a pretty good offense right there. I don't know what their line looks like.
They did sign Raheem Mostert in the offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pete ain't going to be there for a long time. He's there for a good time. So why not just
Yeah,
take a wide
true.
receiver?
You guys swing for fences and set yourself up. You're not setting yourselves up for 2025. Hopefully, you'd be setting yourselves up for 2026, but you're really looking at 2027 to be the year that you can make a move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarterback's window is now, like, if you give Gino a window, respectfully.
If you stink this year, draft a quarterback next year, and you're chilling.
I like
Go
it.
get Arch.
Blutman, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
guys
you
for
joining
having
us.
me. Have fun.
Awesome. All right, so next to the podium, we have representing the New York Jets. We have an old friend, Tom Leigh. Come on up to the podium, Tom, at number 7. You'll be picking here. I like you. Got your jersey on. What jersey is that?
Can you see it? It's Chad.
Chad Pennington. Oh, maybe he's going to go Shador here. Who knows?
Did he have the weakest arm in NFL history?
It's a common misconception.
He was a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback, but then his arm strength fell off a cliff when he got hurt.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, but he was like coming out. It wasn't like horrible.
It wasn't?
He was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good
And
quarterback.
there's been a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. It's not history, right?
Yeah. There's
I mean, he had a rag arm for NFL quarterback standards.
But you know,
But he was a good
But you know why he
quarterback.
gets talked about is because of that. He was a good quarterback.
Yeah, he was a good
Yeah.
quarterback.
There's been bad quarterbacks with bad arms, and it's like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be him than what's his face out of Illinois, who could throw the ball 100 yards.
Jeff George.
Jeff George.
True.
All right, Tom. Number 7. You know the order. We just told you it off the air. Who you got? You said your guy is still there.
Yeah, are we doing any kind of like pageantry, like bada boom boom boom?
Yeah,
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom.
You just did it. Oh, he's got a paper.
What Lance just gave me this. With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Tyler Warren.
Oh,
wow.
Wow. The tight end.
Explain yourself, Tom.
I know close to little to nothing about college football players and how they get, I feel like, rated in the draft process. All I know is I watched I still watch college football when I can, and all I know is from just as someone who's not a huge college football ball watcher, when I see a guy and I'm like, oh, that's a guy. That's what I saw from Tyler Warren. I'm in my
Eyeball test.
yeah
Eyeball test, love it.
and I'm usually right in my eyeball test. I had that when Lamar Jackson was playing. I was like, this guy seems like the guy. And then he went in the draft.
Multiple MVPs, yeah.
I feel like something happens like leading up to the draft where people forget who the guy is just by eyeball tests.
Yeah.
Where like they miss, all of a sudden there's new rankings from like workouts and interviews and combines. And then it's just
That's
like
what I'm saying.
the guys that you saw play who looked for real on the field, they just translate into the NFL. So
Yeah,
Tyler Warren is one of those guys. More of a sexy pick in my opinion, but that's what I want. Jets are a big question mark, could be a trash bag, so why not have fun with it? We need pass catchers. We haven't had like a pass catching tight end.
Kyle
ever.
Brady, another top 10 Jets pick.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to him? I don't know.
Sucked. And the pick got booed.
Right. Wasn't that
It's like one of the famous Jets.
Yeah,
clips.
who was right after him? It was
Somebody fucking
something
awesome.
huge, like Warren Sapp or it was.
But I
it
think
was
Jets fans would be
crazy.
thrilled with this pick, right? Or no? Do they kind of want to build more of the structure here and they view
I don't know. I
as more
feel
of a
like maybe
luxury?
there'd be a few Jets fans on my side where we're like, you know what? F it. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like, let's just.
This might be a dumb question, but New York City obviously isn't a college town.
Warren Sapp went 12.
Yeah, that was the Warren Sapp draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't Penn State have a decent like fan base in
Yeah,
New York City?
for
Isn't
sure.
like that kind of their
For sure.
college football team like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was living in New York during the the Saquon Barkley year when he was playing on Penn State. And I just remember like being in bars where it was like I got caught up in it. I was doing Penn State chants.
We are.
I never even visited Penn State. Yeah, I was doing the We Are.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, there's like a big Penn State presence in New York City.
You probably think Paterno didn't know it too. I bet.
I stay out of that. I don't know. I'm just
Smart to stay out of it, Tom. I
All
agree. All right.
excited about this.
So,
Tyler Warren. I also appreciate. I got to give you credit on the pageantry too. You're the first person who announced it how you should.
Oh,
good job.
I thought that's what we were doing.
That's me too.
Me too.
Yeah, but we're just kind of letting people grab the wheel however they want.
You know, I love the little, what's the word, Ed? Juxtaposition that we had between Tom and ball knower Liam right now, because he came in with like everything about why the Jets were going to draft that zona receiver. You're just like, I'm taking the eyeball test. And you know what? The eyeball test sometimes wins.
He wants the Jets to take who?
The Arizona receiver.
With my pick
No,
right
the
now?
Raiders. He had the pick before you. He took the
he-
Arizona receiver, Ted McMillan.
Yeah. Look, it's not often a tight end gets Heisman love, and Tyler Warren, I think, finished top 10.
He
also rocks.
And no gloves. He's a football guy.
Love that too.
He's a football guy. He's a fullback playing tight end.
At a time where I'd imagine New York Jet enthusiasm is at a pretty low place.
Yeah.
He will be
Can't you picture
an exciting piece.
Can't you picture like the way Justin Fields plays quarterback, where he's just like scrambling or whatever? Can't you just picture like Tyler Warren just being in like the middle of the field or down the line? And he's
That's
just
what we thought about Cole Kmet.
That's the problem, is we've seen this experiment.
I know, but
he
like,
did not use the tight ends as much as we liked.
yeah, I guess.
Sorry, Tom.
I'm asking him the wrong reason.
Yeah. But you're looking for
I
after
can
field.
imagine it. It just doesn't happen.
Who's the Jets offensive coordinator right now?
It's the guy from the Lions.
That's our guy, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that's our guy. Whoever is,
he still came.
I know you're
Lions.
close with him. Based on this conversation, tell him to never, ever, ever drop crossing routes over the middle of the field when Justin Fields is playing quarterback for him, because it will result in an interception.
Tanner Eggstrand. He was the passing game coordinator.
Sounds like someone who's about to get fired in a year. So
1,000%. Yeah.
All right.
All right. I feel great.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Tyler Warren to the Big Apple out of Penn State.
We will go get our Carolina
ATS,
Panthers.
baby.
There we go.
Panthers fan? Who's our
We do. Ebo. He will
That's
be
right,
here.
that's
He will be
right.
here shortly. Before I kind of want to pause. I want to talk to you guys. Like a lot of skill players here in the middle. Like is this kind of going how you expected? I don't think so. In my opinion, I'm kind of excited to see where we land here at 10.
Where we end up.
Yeah,
I will say
there's a big name that's still there that I would love at 10. So
I guess who you're
MG.
thinking?
yes,
Yeah,
Mason
yeah,
Graham?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big name that if it gets past Ebo and Mintz, like I think all three of us can agree we're
what
running
do
to the podium.
the Panthers need? I'm not going to act like I know what their defensive line situation's looking like.
I don't know. We'll find out from Ebo shortly, but that's just a quick note before we go grab Ebo.
That would be an instant sprint to the podium before.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah, the next pick's even over.
PFF lists their needs as wide receiver, edge, and defensive back as their top 3 needs.
Well, that's not Mason Graham.
It's not.
And before we get to the next pick of the 2025 Barstool Sports NFL Draft Show via Barstool Chicago, I want to talk to you guys about our good friends at DraftKings. Everybody knows DraftKings at this point, and everybody knows it's the best time to be a basketball fan. All thrills and playoff drama. Be done sitting on the sidelines and ready to go and win some real cash. But we're going to have you check out the Pick 6 app from DraftKings right now.
Brother, I love the Pick 6 app.
I'm just going to give the show to you right now because you have been on an otherworldly heater on the Pick 6 app. So over to you.
I think it's just simple. It's basically over-under props for different guys across really every single sport. So I usually have a baseball, a basketball, and a hockey, and I feel like I hit one a day. And they have this things where each leg of the parlay that you add, because it could be anywhere from 2 to 8 if it's basketball, there's multipliers involved. So I hit one that was 27.1 as a multiplier. That was a nice little payout. So it's kind of a fantasy sports built in through this other DraftKings app called the Pick 6, like we talked about. So when you hit all your picks, you'll score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6 than flex plays or prize picks. And best of all, you win even more cash if you outscore the competition. So if you have different combinations, you get little bonuses for that as well. So track your picks for a shot at huge cash prizes. That's all there is to it. Pick Six is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. So don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick Six and cash in your basketball knowledge. I do it for hockey. I do it for baseball. New players get 50 in Pick Six credits instantly with just a $5 entry, so great deal there. The basketball playoffs are here. Cash in with Pick Six from DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now. Use code STRETCHPOD. That's code STRETCHPOD for new customers to play $5 and get 50 in Pick Six credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick Six from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right, so here we are, the number 8 pick of the draft, Ebo, representing the Carolina Panthers. Ebo, here's the board so far, and especially for people listening in their car. Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3, Will Campbell 4, Ashton Genty 5, Ted McMillan 6, Tyler Warren 7. So with the number 8 pick in the NFL draft, who are the Carolina Panthers taking?
Yeah, so I might reach a little bit here.
Love that.
Yeah, I might reach. I'm a little guy. I like the little guy. I root for guys from the Sun Belt. I'm going to take Mike Green at edge here.
Ooh.
Very talented player. Definitely some character issues there, but as we've seen in the NFL with the Eagles, it does not really matter. So I'm going to take Mike Green edge
Now,
out of Marshall.
you say that the Eagles were obviously built to win.
Mm-hmm.
And he slid, and you get into a good clubhouse with a lot of veteran leadership, a lot of guys that can kind of curb that childish mentality. Like the Philadelphia Eagles, a very good organization, that's one thing. But going to the Panthers,
Yeah,
a little different.
I mean, we got 9. We got Bryce. He's the guy, so he's a leader.
I offered a guy, someone DM'd me yesterday, shit-talking me for shit-talking Bryce Young on one of our last episodes of this, and
Dave hates Bryce Young.
I don't hate Bryce Young. I think he stinks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people
Just saying.
think Bryce Young can't be the guy.
I think that's fair at this point, but he said that he's going to be top 10 this year, and I said, literally name anything you want. I'm like,
Oh.
he will not have top 10 passing yards, fucking quarterback rating, anything you want. And he didn't respond.
I mean, I don't know if he's statistically going to be there, but yeah, I think Bryce Young is very good. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. I think you can win with Bryce Young. He's a little short, which is
got to rag on.
But I mean, there's guys like us. We can compete.
Shorts, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm the number 1 Bryce Young diamond hands holder in the world.
I like this.
I think in week 5, everyone had sold their Bryce Young stock. I bought more. I just kept buying, catching falling knives. I'm all in on Bryce.
I didn't know this. This is good to know because obviously we have history because the trade.
Yeah.
You guys took Bryce, and he's so against him.
I just think he's not
You
good.
just think he's bad. Like, and I could
Did
tell.
play better down the stretch.
Exactly, but I could tell. You could tell just knowing Dave for so long. This is one of those guys I don't think you'll ever change your mind on.
No, that's not true.
I don't think so.
I did it.
He'd
with,
have to win a Super Bowl or 2.
I mean, I did it with Sam Darnold.
Have you changed your mind on Bo Nix yet?
A little bit. I thought he sucked coming out of college. He was actually pretty good last year.
That's strides.
Yeah.
That's strides. Okay, maybe I stand corrected, but I still in my heart of hearts think you will always think that Bryce Young stinks.
I also am in that camp.
I mean,
think he's good.
To me, it's at eventually it
Bama.
becomes black and white. You're either good or you're not.
Whoa.
And I think that he is probably not good.
Okay, back to your pick, though. We're not here about Bryce Young. We're here about Mike Green. That was mine and Dave's prediction who the Bears were going to take at 10. So our prediction's gone. I'm not incredibly mad about it, just seeing how the board's shaking out. But I like Mike Green. I think this is a good pick.
I mean, freak athlete, he'd probably be going higher if he has some issues. Don't go looking into the issues.
Is it bad?
Let's do a quick Twitter search of
They're
Mike
not
Green.
good. They're definitely not good. Definitely don't look up what Mike Green was doing at Virginia. That's bad stuff. But
this is bad stuff.
Football's
more than once.
Yeah. So
What are we talking?
Some essays.
bad.
Okay, that's different than
Bad.
like speeding or whatever.
Yeah, bad guy, but
What's his
a
face
great
is doing?
football player. So he's going to go to the Panthers at 8.
So Is this what you're seeing a lot, like in mocks and stuff, or is this just the brain of Ebo? This is who you
just
want.
like I follow some people that I think are very smart, and also my entire TikTok feed the last like 2 months has just been Todd McShay. Every time I open the ad, Todd McShay.
I got a ton of Todd McShay, and I don't even know who this graybeard guy is.
No, but yeah, I can't quit it. I just love watching Todd McShay and the graybeard guy talk like football prospects.
Yeah.
They seem to be bullish on Mike Green. I think a lot of the analytical guys are kind of bullish on Mike Green, just translating just because of his athleticism.
Yeah.
Whereas guys like Abdul Carter maybe like is like the consensus like edge number one for the common man. Like I think some of the sharper people seem to like Mike Green a lot more. So I like Mike Green.
I don't know. I wouldn't quite.
He was cleared of one accusation that happened in high school, and then it says he's comfortable talking about what happened at Virginia. Like he's
all right,
dismissive of both.
Well, he is a Carolina Panther.
Yes,
to Ebo.
Officially.
Awesome.
All right.
And we'll have to maybe have to do a whole show.
We will. Yeah, this will come back. We don't play you guys this year.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not sure.
I don't know why he said I hate Brace. Like I hated.
But you won't even acknowledge that he had a good back half of the game.
No,
you have never acknowledged.
I would not say good.
No, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
What kind of okay? No, if that's the case, then I will acknowledge it. But I still don't think he's a good NFL quarterback.
Okay.
Especially for a 1-1 pick.
Panthers are not on the Bears schedule this year.
Okay. Ebo, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, guys. It's my first time on this show.
Wow.
Is that right?
That debut.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Taking Mike Green.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Here we come.
All right. Let's get Mintzy in here for the Saints.
Number 9 pick. I think
things are breaking.
Okay, his last 3 games, he was actually
gonna
good.
Crush us right here. Watch.
No.
Don't say anything, but I think Mintzy's gonna be like, well, golly, he's still there.
Are we live and recording yet?
Yeah, I think we're still going.
Okay, well, I'm looking at his stats now. His last 3 games, he was obviously objectively very good.
Okay, you have never acknowledged that, so I needed that.
But
I don't know if you weren't.
I mean,
I don't know if you specifically weren't paying attention or if like you were.
One of those games was a 48-14 loss to Tampa, and the other 2 games were overtime wins.
Okay, I don't know if you were just like filing that away in your closet or what, but it was undeniable. And every time he comes up, you say he stinks. He stinks.
I mean, I'm not going to base. I'll use the larger body of his work.
Sure, but I'm just like, you have to acknowledge all of his work at the same time.
That's fine.
All right, here we are walking to the podium from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Monroe, get it right.
Monroe, my apologies, Mintzy. I knew I fucked that up.
I thought you were from Metairie.
Drafting for the New Orleans Saints at number 9, Benjamin Mintz. You were on the clock. Who are you taking?
Okay, so I just got filled in on who everybody's taking, and I'm running. I'm sprinting.
Don't say it.
Sprinting to the podium for this because I can't believe Mason Michigan has fallen to 9. When you look at the Saints' defensive line right now, Cam Jordan's obviously at the end. Brian Brees, who was the first-round pick a couple of years ago, looks like he's flashing, but there's no other talent. And him falling to 9 is a godsend to put him in the middle.
So there is 0.0000 chance he gets past 9.
There is a chance because the Saints picked their other options. I looked hard at Kelvin Banks because the Saints need another offensive tackle pretty bad. And so that if Graham was gone, that's who I was taking because the Saints right now, when you look at the offensive line.
I mean, Membo's still there.
Yeah, no, that's another – there's a bunch of good offensive.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the Missouri tackle.
Yeah.
But I was looking at that too because the Saints offensive line situation.
Mintzy, I'd like to trade up to 9.
Yeah, so I stole. Yeah, but no, with Graham, if he falls to 9, you just got to take it.
You sprint it, yeah.
We literally were talking about how it was shaking out because there were some jumps. Like Blutman took Tate McMillan at 6 to the Vegas, and we were like, "We're gonna get Mason Graham, but not past you, Mintzy."
No, well, the Saints got a pretty big rebuild situation, but the floor on Mason Graham is so high.
Yeah.
What if we gave you 10 and a 3rd-round pick next year?
Or one of those seconds even.
Man, I would take it because the problem with the Saints, Mickey Loomis has never traded down, ever. All he does is trade up and burn, and the Saints never have a lot of picks. But, I think in this spot I would probably take it just to get another 2nd or 3rd because the Saints have so many holes in the roster and the salary cap's bad. I think you need to
Would you do that? Trade up one for one of the seconds? 39 or 41?
for one of the seconds. I don't think for a 10-9 that would it wouldn't need.
It wouldn't
a
cost
second.
that?
It would be less than that.
So third, fourth, whatever.
Yeah, like a
so
third.
yeah, I would
I'd
sprint to that then for Mason Graham.
I think so too, especially because now it's like
Now what?
you could go anywhere. But the only silver lining here for us is if the draft does fall this way, there is a chance they take Shador there.
Say no.
You don't think so at all?
No. I
You're
think
not buying it at all.
No, I don't think so. I think both Dart and Shador are gonna fall, and what you're gonna look at for either one of those guys is somebody's gonna trade up late first round, early second to get them. I think there's a telltale sign on both that they're falling. Neither one of them are going to the draft. And Dart was invited. They only take 12 players to the draft every year. I think both of them could fall. But like I said, late first, early second, I think somebody's going to trade up for him. Is what I think. I mean, the Saints could trade up for Dart though, because I mean, do you really roll into the year with Spencer Rattler? Is all you got? I mean, it's a mess right now.
That is a mess.
But I think when it comes to your 9th overall pick, you got to take someone with a high floor.
Where's Jackson Dart from?
Utah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought there was a chance he might have been like
he transferred
good old boy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's a Mormon.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I don't know that he practices abstinence though. Like,
no.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think he likes the women.
Have you asked him that?
Hey,
there's some rumors.
Well, I mean,
that's
the Mormons
okay.
like all the women. Isn't that their thing?
That's true.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Mintzy, thank you. You broke our hearts, but thank you. You kept this a realistic draft.
Well, a good thing for you is that Mickey Loomis is known to make some mistakes.
I'll say this: there's no chance at all that only one quarterback's taking top 10, right?
I think there's a good chance.
I think that there's a good chance. The spots to look for are
teams always get desperate last minute for quarterbacks.
The Steelers look at Shador maybe at 19. I think he's going to Pittsburgh or Cleveland with Travis Hunter. And I think Dart is either going to the Giants or the Saints. The Giants obviously have Russ Wilson and Jameis, but like that's not a long-term thing. I mean, Saints got to do something, man. I mean, literally, right now they got Spencer Rattler and the Derek Carr thing's a divorce. He's not playing another down there.
Yeah.
So they got to do something. So,
but you can't pass on Graham.
No chance, man. Got to build from the line. You know, Kellen Moore comes from Dallas and Philly, line of scrimmage, super important.
Thank you, Mintzy.
Thank you, man.
Sorry I broke y'all's
motherfucker.
It's all right. That sucks. That would have made this ending 10th pick by us very easy. And now we debate. I think I've circled my guy, but let's have some discourse.
Well, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I think obviously Membo was the highest projected tackle at this point.
Yeah, but
don't like moving him from right to left.
I agree.
So just by process of elimination, I would like to go Calvin Banks here with you guys, but I'm open to taking the edge from Georgia.
So,
Michael Williams.
I don't like either one of those.
Okay. What do you like? I could be talked into things. I like Will Johnson.
So,
I'll fucking draft corners. Like, we know polls ain't shy.
Yeah, that's true.
Corners.
I think I would probably try to trade back. That would be the first option. Just pick up a little extra something. I don't know who's interested in moving up to that spot. But if I'm staying at 10, I have concerns about Membu because he's, like you said, and then Banks is supposed to be another guy that's going to have to kick inside, just like a worse version of Will Campbell. So then it's like, if I'm taking an offensive tackle, I want it to be a guy that is a tackle, and that brings me back to Josh Simmons, who, had he not had the ACL last year, everyone was projecting him to be much higher. So he only played 6 games at Ohio State last year. He is.
You're really going off that.
McShay. Yeah, I like McShay. McShay likes Josh Simmons, and it's like he is the prototypical. He's 6'5", he's 310, he's got the right arm length, the leverage, all that, the foot speed. That, like, he has everything you want in like that left tackle. And if you're taking a tackle, in my head, he has to be better than Braxton Jones. And if the other guys are not suited to like unseat Braxton Jones, and it's like you just drafted a backup guard for a year.
I guess I'm just not as concerned about that because I think our whole offensive line needs upholstering.
Which they did,
but Tooney's old. They haven't extended him.
But they polls did say this week that it's like now extending Tooney is his number one priority.
Yeah.
Good. I hope it happens.
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
Mhm.
But I don't see a problem with getting younger on the offensive line.
I don't either. But if
I'm not saying you're wrong either. I'm not saying
It's not a problem as much as it's not the correct.
Especially, it's not like we're talking. I mean, 10 is still a nice draft position.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, but
yeah. But I do think I think Simmons will end up being a more valuable player than Kelvin Banks by the nature of the position. So if Kelvin Banks is going to have to kick inside, well, give me the guy who doesn't have
you
to.
just value a tackle more.
Yeah.
Get it?
I'm
The whole
all
league does.
in agreement.
Well, are any of those guys make sense, or do you like someone else?
So with Membu and Banks, I had a conversation with Taylor Lewan last year at Camp Barstool, and we were just talking about the ins and outs of playing offensive line, and I asked him about arm length because we talked about this with Pete Skoronsky. I'm like, how much does it actually matter? And obviously, he hated hearing it because he was one of the short arm guys, you know.
Yeah.
So long story short, he's like, dude, it is like throwing. If you're a righty, it's like learning how to throw with your left hand. He's like, it's completely different. It's obviously it's the same position, just mirror image. But he's like, some guys can do it, some guys just can't. That scares me with the top 10 picks. So I'm out on Banks. I'm out on Membu for those reasons. I like your rationale with that. However, if it's me, I'm sending a to NFL All email saying who wants the 10th pick, best offer. If not, then I would go with Michael Williams out of Georgia. Get the best defensive end on the board. If you can't make a deal to trade back.
Yeah. Because so what was it, an ACL he had?
And that's such
Simmons?
routine surgery now.
Yeah,
like
Simmons, I'm just looking. I'm just looking.
I believe that is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I mean, we're talking about Michael Williams as this like
Yeah.
stud defensive end. He had 5 sacks last year.
I get it.
Like the production just doesn't.
And,
like,
and you know how many Mike Green had? Obviously, 2 different players.
Yeah, he
1,
had
3,
like
4,
17.
17.
Shit.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter, a crazy amount.
Two
College
ver-
statistics matter. I don't care.
Like their level of production does.
Two very different conferences, though.
Two very different conferences.
Sure,
Very different.
But like,
you're still lighting it up.
and it's like you're still Georgia. Like
Exactly.
you know, like you're still the most talented. It's not like he was like probably not getting doubled every single play. I do think that there are other edges. Like it feels like there is a deep draft for the edges like that. Both A&M guys, Shamar Stewart and
I wouldn't
Nick
blink if someone
Scourton.
said him.
Yeah, but it's like those guys, like Landon Jackson, Arkansas. Like there are guys you can target in that 39-41 range.
Do we hate Will Johnson?
I think they have other needs.
In a corner?
Yeah,
But if
unless
they're not-
like how much
If they
how
really
much
do
do
kick
you
Gordon back to
safety, then play him.
Yeah, and I, like-
well, and like how much do you hate
Stevenson?
Stevenson?
His play dipped outside of
For sure,
you know,
but it's
He gets
like,
roasted a lot.
but does he get a fresh start like everyone else gets?
I think so.
I don't
I
know.
do think so.
That's a Dennis
He's
Allen
flashed
question.
good and he's physical. I think a lot of him getting roasted was just like he wasn't in position. It wasn't a physical mismatch. It was a mental. So hopefully a new coaching staff can, put him in a position to stop making those mental errors.
Yeah, but he is a fucking moron though.
He is a fucking moron. Obviously. I mean, he was the reason of that 10-game losing streak, not me.
Definitely started it. You guys contributed, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that's obviously they got one of the best defensive backfields in football. So if you're adding to a strength, I don't hate
this
that
to me is like worst case scenario where one of those top 9 don't somehow slip.
Fall
Like
to us.
you needed Shadur to because Shadur at the beginning of this process, like right after the bowl season, he was kind of universally in the top 10. And I think there were like issues with like his interviews and stuff like that. And like people have soured on him a little bit. So which bumps out one of our guys.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so who we taking? Lance, you got any
I probably, out of the guys we're talking about, I think I've narrowed it down to 3, which would be Simmons, out of Georgia, McCall, and then the corner, Will Johnson. Honestly, I probably would vote Will Johnson, but I think probably the safest pick would be to take the tackle. But I think I don't think
Simmons is what you're
yeah,
noticed?
Simmons. Yeah,
Right.
I don't think that Tyreek Stevens is very good. I don't think even with the fresh. I mean, I'll happily be wrong, but I don't think he's gonna magically turn it around. Will Johnson seems to be like a lockdown guy.
Yeah.
I think corner is really hard. If you have really good pass coverage, if you're lacking in pass rush, the coverage can make up for it.
That's true.
I would probably go that, but I think it's
Lance,
We got
to
2
go
for
the tackle.
Simmons.
If you can't, I love that rationale right there, Lance, because obviously a better defensive line makes for a better defensive backfield because you're pressuring the quarterback. They're making quicker, faster paced decisions. It works in the inverse too, Lance, just like you said. So, hey, you got Johnson on one side. You got obviously the 2 safeties that have been very good when healthy.
And then we could have Johnson and Johnson.
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 I don't hate it. Maybe that's a move right there.
But he also said Simmons is probably his.
Yeah, I think that's probably a conservative good thing to do. I was saying to you guys yesterday off camera that we bitch every single year about the offensive line. To then be like, okay, we have a top 10 pick, to not take an offensive lineman again could be just egregious. So,
especially with the uncertainty of Braxton Jones. I could get around to Simmons. We want to go Simmons, guys?
I'll go Simmons. Let's go Simmons.
I'm going Simmons.
All right. It's a democracy.
All right.
An agreement.
All right.
Moved me off Banks. The war room was collaborative. And with the 10th pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Josh Simmons, Ohio State tackle.
woo!
All right, boys. Let's
Good.
go.
All right.
That's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Go
Thanks for
Bears.
watching. We will be back next week to talk about whoever we pick. See you then.